Howdy everyone, this is Great Gift. So I'm in my test world right now. We're doing a little bit of testing on some of the questions we had in some of the other episodes. And I want to run through these with you really quickly. So this will be just a little short, little fun video. And so let's go ahead and do that. So first up, the question I had was the sawmill better than the coke oven red furnace? The question is yes, sawmill blows the doors off of it. I put a stack of wood in both, and I think you might come out a little bit ahead because each of these buckets is worth 40,000 RF. So power-wise, you might be ahead, but this is slow. It's much faster than a coke oven, but it's very slow. I think this was done with its 64 logs before this one was to like 55 or something like that. So lots of processing there. Next question was the Pulverizer redstone combo. And the way I set this up is I did augmented auxiliary reception coil, and then the sieve, auxiliary sieve, and then the I put 2 in this one. I'm just trying to keep up. And I don't know that I necessarily needed 2. This furnace was waiting most of the time, but we'll get to that in a bit. And then I did the same over here, auxiliary reception coil and a flux anodizer. This setup right here is much quicker, but not, it's quicker. But it's not like this one's completely out of the race. This one was done, and this one was still on, like, had about 18 ores to process. So 12 to 18 ores. And the big thing is you get straight out 64 copper in, doubled that, and you get 2 stacks of 64. Same case over here, you get 2 stacks of 64, so it's doubled, but you also get 9, at least with the auxiliary, that extra bars of gold. And in the case of maybe say you're processing nickel, that's 9 more bars of platinum. So I think I'm going to stay with this setup. It is slower, and you know, that's a pretty good portion slower, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so here's the last question, and actually I had a furnace generator here. But right out of the gate, the furnace generator is the loser. Sterling generator with even the basic capacitor will produce 3,600 at 60 U. And these UIs, micro incandescence or something like that, not incandescence, micro capacitance. They're equivalent to FE, so we can just do unit to unit. And so out of the gate, more efficient, faster, better, in doing that. So, and if we look at this one, it's 3,000 RF at 40 RF per tick, so less RF and at a slower rate. So furnace generator out of the gate. However, the survivalist generator does 15,000 at 5 RF per tick. So it is possible to speed this up with speed upgrades. Problem is the basic speed upgrades only cut it down to 30 seconds, which I think 30 seconds at 15,000. See, with the octadic capacitor, you go up to 5,400 at 120, which is basically about, it's like 3 seconds. So in 30 seconds, you've done this operation just about 10 times. and so you have 50,000 RF in the time there. So to get this in the same ballpark, we need to be about 8 seconds. And to do that, I had to go up to the magical upgrades. And at the same time, you have to realize by using these magical upgrades, you have to have grid power as well. That right now we're using 23 grid power, and but then we're at, this is 9 seconds just about. So 15,000, 9 seconds to do it. So that's probably evens. As far as making it though, the octo capacitor does take a recipe. Takes vibrant alloy, which is ender pearls, and then you have the double layer, which is vibrant. So there's a lot of sub combinations for this to make this, but it doesn't require any very high-end resources. On the other hand, the recipe for this is enchanted ingots and enchanted magical apples, which takes magic wood, which takes experience bookcases, gold, which isn't too bad. Then you turn around and put that with more RF and make that enchanted ingots or gold RF in the enchanter. And then your speed ingots, which, yeah, those are the resonator. So lots of gold. This one would definitely be the winner, especially if you go tier to your ultimate upgrades. The ultimate upgrades, a full stack cuts it down to basically a 2-second operation. So you get 15,000 RF for 2 seconds. Problem is you're using 192 grid power, and so you have to have everything to back that up in your grid system. So I don't know that I'm going to change out my generators for Stirling generators, but I'm definitely going to upgrade the one that I made and get that in the rotation because it's a lot more efficient. I possibly will look at pulling out my furnace generators for survival, but again, I don't know that I'm going to spend the time and energy needed to make them that more efficient, especially where we're going to start looking at oil, and we'll probably have a lot of power with oil as well. So for now, Stirling generator in, at least the one we have, maybe possibly a couple more. Look at that. And furnace generators, they're nice, but they're ultimately, speed isn't worth the trade-off for what power we get from. So and we could also, we could look at steam and turbines and everything as well, using our solid fuel, and I think at some point it'll all get converted. I didn't look at the dynamo in this equation, but I imagine the dynamos could